guys, welcome back to another episode of the Ask Muso podcast, brought to you by Beach Services. I'm crossing the continent once again, internationally over to the States. I got someone that I actually only met sort of through the digital world very recently that I really wanted to find out more about. So I won't hold up any longer. David, give us a bit of an intro about yourself and kick us off.
Thanks, Bailey. Pleasure to be on your channel, and I guess I'm here in Los Angeles, and I grew up here and been doing music pretty much my whole life, and been in bands my whole life, and they never work out. So this project, Hidden Guide, it started in 2019, and I just got fed up with, people not caring and committing as much as I was willing to. And I'd been writing my own stuff my whole life. And so I was like, well, I'm sitting on all these songs. So I'll just, finally get them recorded the right way. And then so I just embarked on that journey, and I have no idea where it's going, but yeah, now we're here.
And that's part of the excitement, I guess. I think not having necessarily a plan, but also not having, like, collaboration's awesome, but not having other people to rely on, especially when you've had sort of a series of periods of maybe letdowns where people just flake out, and we've all done it. And for me, as someone that plays drums, I need the other people. I can't necessarily do it myself. I can't just pick up a guitar and go, well, I guess I'm a soloist now. I need the other people to be as into it, and I need the other people to be doing it too.
Yeah.
So Hidden Guide, sort of what's sort of the backstory of that? So you said 2019, but like, how did that sort of all come to be? Give me a bit of a rundown on the name, and sort of tell me what the project's all about.
The name I got from a book called Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And it was a book I read when I was like 18 or 19 years old. I was in college, and I was, struggling, and I was a couple months behind on the rent. And I read this book to try to empower myself. And it kind of worked. I'd say, it worked a little bit. But there was a phrase in there that said that the world has a hidden guide whose duty it is to test people with all sorts of discouraging experiences. And those who cultivate the habit of persistence, persevere, and eventually they succeed, and then the world says, like, good job, like, we knew you could do it.
Yeah, we gave you all the trials and tribulations, and we wanted to make it as hard as possible, and yet, in spite of all of that, you've come through at the end. Congratulations.
Yeah, and then it has a follow-up sentence where it says, the hidden guide allows no one to achieve great success without passing the persistence test.
It's not just the path of least resistance. Sometimes the path that actually has a bit of resistance is actually, in this case, the hidden guide, the one you want to go for.
What it means to me is kind of like higher power, infinite intelligence, creative intelligence. Some people call it God. Some people call it, I don't know what it's called. I don't know if it's even got a name. But, I know that there's, even though I don't know, there's something inside me that does. And, that intuition, that animal instinct, that intuition can be harnessed and leveraged to navigate this existence.
Yeah, for sure. And I suppose for you, being a creative, you have, I know personally, we have a different way of looking at things. And be that in a way that we maybe tell stories, or just sort of express ourselves, or in the worst form, maybe an outlet where we can express frustrations and stuff like that in a more creative, more constructive setting. From my perspective, listening to the songs, I think they're really good songs, really catchy, and that's how I stumbled upon them. I'll touch on that later. But what are the sort of the stories for you? What are the stories behind the songs, or are you still sort of working through the David back catalog from way back when, or is there a new sort of theme that you're pushing through?
I do always kind of gravitate to one central idea. And I do consider myself a little bit of a one-trick pony. And the producer that I work with, Sejo Navajas, he's at 4th Street Recording in Santa Monica. I mean, dude, the guy is, an amazing writer, an amazing producer, and I wouldn't have the songs if it wasn't for him and the engineer who's from Norway. His name's Andreas, and then I use a mastering engineer who's his name's Evren. He's from Turkey. And so I've got lucky to be surrounded by a good team, and these guys are just they're just really good. And so anyways, but mainly Sejo, he challenges me to try something new and get outside of my comfort zone. But to answer your question, the idea that I kind of express in my music is that happiness and peace and love and all those awesome things are right here, right now, available in this moment. It's a free gift with no requirement necessary. It's totally unconditional. And the frustration that I express in my songs is that the world, when I was growing up, the world tricked me. I don't know if it maliciously tricked me, but it tricked me into believing that I needed material things, right? A house, car, job, money, a girlfriend, right? All these outside, the world, I don't know if it did it on purpose, but it tricked me into believing that these outside material possessions was what was responsible for happiness. And so I went after those things and felt broken and emptier than ever and almost drank myself to death over it. And I was like, I did everything I was told to do, but why did I self-destruct, right? I went to school, I went to college, I got the job, I did all the things, and I was like completely broken inside. So I started questioning everything. And what I found was that the universe or the higher power or whatever you want to call it, all the happiness, wholeness, completeness, okayness, the freedom, it was written in my heart all along, just like inherent in my true nature, waiting to be realized. And I just was looking outside instead of within. And so that's kind of like the underlying theme in most of my songs, is that everything that we've ever looked for, we don't have to look for it. It's right here, right now, already available.
Having that inner knowledge and that inner peace and that love for oneself, and therefore being able to give that to others, that's not easy necessarily, but that's something that you can just work on yourself. That's something you don't have to work 9 days a week to try and find that. That's not going to come. That's just going to come from within. I actually saw something online a couple of days ago that sort of echoed that sort of message, and it said, the people that find themselves often emotionally unavailable, or that are trying to find something else to love or to be interested in to make up for other stuff, it does come back to an inherent unhappiness in something, whether they'll admit it or not, whether they're like, yeah, I'm getting paid packets, but I need something fun as my outlet. But the outlet, I don't find it super fun. It's because that job you're making packets at, you really do hate it, and unfortunately you dislike your work life too much that no matter how much fun stuff you do on the weekend, it's not bridging that gap. It's not covering up that stuff. So you find something that you find interesting in, and that idea of you find the job of your dreams. You never work a day in your life. That sort of passion, find the passion or find what's true to yourself, and then all the other sort of bits, they do fall into place. Because if you go, hey, I love this. This is me. What you're looking at surrounding me right now, that's what you get with me. People go, yep, that's what you get. He's confident and he's authentic. That's the picture. That's what I get. There's no second personality. That's what I get. And people are attracted or gravitate towards that. And that's what I found personally, and I think it rings true from what you're saying as well.
You're speaking my language.
Regarding sort of how we met then, I suppose I'll skip over to that. I was doing TikTok, still am doing social media content for Nobby, who I work for, the underwear brand based here on the sunny coast. And I was desperately looking for something I could utilize for a Christmas video I was doing with, ironically, the music shop that I love, that's been a big supporter of me, as well as the Nobby brand. And I was like, I need something that is... I was sort of touring around the shop, but I tried to look up tour and tried looking up guide. And as a business, we have constraints through the TikTok business account to be able to use certain material, which is tricky. And I was like, I need something that's a while, because it was quite a long narrative video. And I was like, I need something that's going to last. So I just typed up guide and just kept going through, and I found all these different things. And I was like, poo, rubbish, not usable, rubbish, not usable. And then I found this song, which I'm not sure if it came up because of the name of the song or because of the name of you, like Hidden Guide. But it popped up on there, and I was like, oh, I'll just use the chorus phrase of this. This is fantastic. That's sort of the way we sort of came into contact, because I used that track of yours after actually connecting through that way through the song. Is that sort of what you had the intention of with your music? Is it to make it a bit of a, put it out on social media and sort of see what happens, see if someone finds it? Is that sort of what your ambition is with the music?
Well, so my ambition with the music is if I still have a day job. I'm in sales, and it's a full-time sales job, and but my dream has always been to be able to do music for a living. And it's a tough business, and it's a long shot, but I just can't imagine not taking a shot at it, but like really actually like giving it a shot, making it an all-consuming obsession. And so I was looking for revenues of income. I was like, how could I... So, there's I have a couple licensing deals with various sync agencies where they proactively pitch the music to TV and film to try to get it in a Netflix series or in a Disney movie or, something. And so I've got a couple of those deals set up. There's been no placements yet. Since my background's in sales, I pitch my music directly to music supervisors, sync agencies, record labels, publishers, all kinds of industry people. I don't get any responses. Sometimes I do. It does tell me when they listen to a song, though, because I subscribe to and so I can see, if a certain A&R person or I could see, I'm like, oh, cool. I'm like, they listen to those songs and then they stop there. I wonder why. And then I'll wait a month and I'll just be like, hey, if that last batch of songs I sent you missed the mark, here's another playlist with, some different styles. So I'm definitely plugging away. I'm definitely pounding the pavement. For TikTok specifically, they have a platform called Sound On, and I noticed that because I created a business account for my account, and I wasn't able to pull my own music from TikTok when I wanted to create a post because I'm a business account. So it happened by accident. So I emailed TikTok and I'm like, hey, this is my music. I'm trying to create a post. You won't even let me use my music. And they're like, oh, well, you have a business account. And I'm like, well, what do we got to do? They're like, well, your stuff needs to be in the TikTok commercial library. And I'm like, well, how do I do that? And they're like, you have to sign this contract. So I set up an account on their profile. I downloaded this contract. I think it was like 8 or 10 pages or whatever. But yeah, it was like I read it and it seemed harmless and there wasn't anything too crazy on it. So yeah, my stuff's on there now and I had no idea what was going to happen. And I have a song called Mother's Day, and right now there's a bunch of like flower companies, like flower shop company TikTok accounts that have been using that song to like promote flowers for Mother's Day and stuff, even though it's like a little ways away.
That's awesome, because I suppose for me, like my instant thought when you said that is the gap in the market is no one can use Flowers by Miley Cyrus because if they're a business account. So I'm looking up the next best thing. Like you start with the most direct thing, Mother's Day. Well, you're now at the top of the list, and then you go to flowers, then you go to gift, and then you try and find the different things and stuff like that. awesome. And I think as a platform, as someone who had not really consumed, or certainly not used it until taking it on board on a business side of things, the opportunities to express the content of a video in both a setting with the actual caption, which is sort of the least important part, the content of the video, but the music itself, when you find something that is actually relevant to that. I was obviously interested as a musician in how it sounded and how it would link and the vibe of the song, which the one of yours I chose was very positive, but I was looking at something that had guide in it because I was guiding myself around a music shop. I was looking for something that was as obvious and straightforward as it was, same as this Mother's Day track, and I like that you've lent into that and are using that and getting traction as well, utilizing the tracks through the platform.
Yeah, it was a happy accident.
You have in your bio new releases monthly. Where does that sort of come from? Is that just because there's just lots and you're one of those people that if I don't come up with the idea, it's gone forever? Or is it more of I want to push myself to achieve this every month because it's a goal?
The music's already recorded. It's all uploaded to... I could get hit by a bus today and die, and a song will still come out every month through August. And it was like that for the last year. I had a year and a half's worth of stuff uploaded. And then, I just finished doing another album with 14 songs. And since I don't have too big of a following, I just release them all as singles for now, just to keep everyone engaged. So, for my first 3 albums, every single song was released as a single, and then the whole thing was released as an album. And I'm not trying to convince people to like me in order to listen to my music. It's not, I'm
the product speaks for itself.
It's just, hey, there's going to be a song every month. That's it.
I like that. For me, that, just from the way you're talking, it screams authenticity because it screams that is very you. And I think that is such an important thing. People see through, for lack of a better term, bullshit. As a band, it's obviously a lot more moving parts in a lot of cases, and having tracks and stuff that you can pre-save and build hype for the band and those sorts of things. But in this case, for you, it's I have a product I'm really proud of. The authenticity of this product speaks for itself, and I'd love if you consumed it. But at the same time, this is me, and I'm going to be doing this sort of regardless. And I think people go, oh, okay, sweet. So it's not I've got this. I'm being constantly reminded, hey, have you done that thing yet? Hey, have you done that thing yet? It's sort of hey, new music. Oh, okay, cool. And it's not 7 posts of big things coming soon. You know how there's always those posts of just black screen, white text, big things coming soon, and all that. You've got big things coming out every month, and I like that. For me as someone who's sort of spectating the arena of social media where everyone has small brains and small attention spans, you are ticking that box.
Yeah, man. No, it's and I'm learning as I go, man. I don't know if I know what I'm doing. Sometimes it feels like I do, but most of the time I don't. But, for me, it's about the song, I write these songs to process emotions, for my sanity, to make sense of the world, and it's a medicinal practice for me to write these songs, and most of the melodies, I dream them. They come to me in a dream. And so if you look at my phone, all the little audio recordings on the iPhone app, there's thousands, because I'll wake up in the middle of the night and I'm oh my God, what was that melody? And I'll hum the melody, and then I'll come back to it later, and then I'll put lyrics to it or whatever. But yeah, man, I'd say at least half of the stuff comes to me in a dream. And for one day, I'm what song is that? That has to be a song. It's too simple. It's too simple of a melody. It has to have been used before. And then I try to figure out what it is. I can't figure out what it is. I'm all right, I'm using it for a song then.
Yeah, I like that. And it's so nice when you can go through stuff like that and go, I'm 90% sure, but I've looked through anything that's remotely similar, and it looks like it's free to go. It's so freeing when you see something yes, this is actually an absolute banging hook. And to be yeah, I came up with a banging hook that someone else didn't come up with first. Heck yes.
And again, there's a lot of songs. I'd say there's for every, I don't know. I'd say at least half the songs, the producer that I work with is able to do something to just really like take it to a whole new level, whether that's add in a bridge, whether that's rewrite the chorus, whether that's rewrite the verses. Maybe it's changing the whole structure of the song. So, you know, I bring like a basic demo, and then we just work from there, and we have no idea how it's going to turn out. We have no idea what's going to happen, but we just operate off intuition, and we just go where the song allows us as we're in the studio. And every time I'm just like, dude, I can't believe we did it. I can't believe we did it again.
This isn't what I brought, and it's so good. Like, this is not what I came with. I came with something that was really the bare bones foundation, and we've just taken this up another notch, which is super awesome as a creator to just be surrounded by like-minded people that are like, I'm going to move that there, I'm going to make that a bridge, and you're like, oh gosh, how did I not think of that? That is so good.
Yeah, so I'm like, that's a challenge for me, you know, to not get too emotionally attached to these songs when I just record the demo. So he, like the producer calls it Demo-itis. When I first started working with him, he's like, dude, man, he's like, you are suffering from a severe case of Demo-itis. And I was like, all right, I'm going to do better. So I stopped like developing the songs as much and just started doing like verse, you know, like chorus, verse, pre-chorus, chorus, sometimes just verse, chorus, like just very bare bones, no solos, no background, nothing, just the guitar, the vocals, and the drums and the bass.
And then see it take shape from there, and see it just go from 10 to 100 in front of your eyes.
Dude, yeah. Like Guided, the song that you used, if you heard the original version of that, almost unrecognizable.
That's crazy. See, for me, I found that song really catchy. At some point, I'll have played the TikTok I'm referring to with the track over it. I find the songs, like, I don't know what you would classify the genre of sort of the tracks to be, but for me, I just find them super upbeat, easy listening tracks for the most of the ones I've heard. And I'm always looking for opportunities to sort of expand my listenership into something new, or, you know, to find local people for me that are doing something that maybe isn't my comfort zone of listening that I really enjoy, or to find something that is my comfort listening of enjoyment, but find someone who's a smaller creator that's doing it. And that's what I've found with you. And I'm stoked to be looking at your catalog and see it expand as things go on.
Yeah, and this new batch that's going to be coming out like towards the end of summer, like we challenged ourselves because we're like, hey, you know, we don't want 40 songs that sound the same, you know, let's try to like, you know, do something different. So we've definitely gone outside the box, and part of that is to like be able to I guess have a more extensive catalog, so that when I do pitch the music to music supervisors or sync agencies and they say, hey, there's not really a need for this, and I'm like, well, what is there a need for? And they say, well, if you have something like A, B, and C, send it over. I'll be like, I do. There you go. So it is kind of like a business strategy, but not at the expense of the song and the art and the message. And so that is like the most like wholesome, pure, sacred thing that really everything is a reflection of. And so I know that as long as I stay true to myself in regards to the actual art and the song, that everything else will just, you know, work itself out.
That's, as for me as a creator, that's super inspiring, and I'm super excited to sort of see and hear where things go. So to wrap up, where can the people find you? I noticed you're wearing Hidden Guide merch, but you know, where can the people find you? Show it off, and the usernames, the platforms. Where can everyone find you?
Pretty much everywhere. I mean, Spotify, Apple, YouTube. I never want anyone to feel like excluded or separate, or like, you know, I never want anyone to feel like they can't have an experience with the music. I love that, and I'm looking forward to when some of these A&R people do pick you up, because I want to see you everywhere, and I want to hear you everywhere, and I want to make sure that
all the viewers of this episode, they check out Hidden Guide and have a listen, because it's Dave, it's really good stuff.
Dude, you're gonna make me cry.
I'll make sure we wrap it up before you cry. Then no, I appreciate that as someone that is always looking for, like there's a lot of people that do a bunch of different things, a bunch of different genres of music and all that, and they're the big boys, and I want to see people like you that are doing your own adaptation of those things and see you guys come up, because for me that's interesting. And it's not so much just, I knew bloody Hidden Guide when he was 600 followers, but it's like I want to see people that are at my level and above my level do things that I really enjoy, because for me I get more of an authentic thing out of that. When I'm the 147 millionth play of a song, that means less to me than when I'm your 500th play. And I didn't know I was actually doing that when I put your song on that TikTok, because as I say, the commercial sounds, normally it's only really small corner section of tracks I can use. But to know that I discovered you through that, and I'm looking forward to continuing to discover what you create.
Yeah, man. And right now I don't have a band. It's one thing that I would love to play live and get back out there. But I'm trying to find ways to generate some revenue so that I can afford to pay professional musicians, so I can make sure that we're able to live up to that quality of a recording, that we can actually bring that same fire live. So that's a whole nother, different conversation, something else that I'm working on my end, because studio recordings have only been around for 100 years, but the idea of playing for an audience, that's been around since the beginning of time. And so providing a live experience, I think is even more like raw than all of it. And so that's what I'm trying to get to, is to be able to play live again.
Awesome. Well, I look forward to seeing that and seeing stuff as you get to put things together. Because it's super exciting.
Thanks.
Well, that's another episode of the Ask Muso podcast. Awesome to have a chat with an up-and-coming creator who I discovered in the most organic way, which we love to see here. And it's super exciting to see what Hidden Guide is all about. And make sure you have a listen to the big back catalog that he's got. So once again, 9 a.m. every Tuesday. You'll find these ones on my YouTube. Hit the bell, hit the comment, do all the things you need to do. And until next time, I'll see you later.